Hi students, let's work on our first logarithm program, which is temperature conversion calculator. So this is the instruction file that's been given on the website. So I just opened it on the screen, you can see. Let's go through the instructions carefully. The following formulas are used to convert degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit and Kelvin respectively. Here, so they are asking us to convert the degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit as well as Kelvin, and the formulas given to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit is like Fahrenheit is equals to the Celsius degrees multiplied by 9 divided by 5, and the entire thing is summed up with 32. Similarly, the formula for Kelvin is equals to the Celsius degrees plus 273.15. Here we need to write a logarithm program, which is nothing but Python program that does the following. So we have to prompt the user for the temperature in degrees Celsius and then calculate the degrees Fahrenheit. In the same way, we have to calculate the degrees in Kelvin and display the degrees in Fahrenheit as well as display the degrees in Kelvin. So here we have to use real numbers and round the output to one decimal. And here is a sample input given. So once we prompt the user for the temperature in degrees Celsius, so if let's say user has entered a value of 10, then the sample output, the desired output should be printed like this on the console. 10 degrees Celsius converts to 50.0 degrees Fahrenheit. 10.0 degrees Celsius converts to 283.2 degrees Kelvin. So let's go to our Python code. So this is our Python code. I have already written it, so let's take a look into it. We are actually showing this Python code to help students to visualize the logic of the assignment in Flogarithm software. Students are actually encouraged to write the code for the assignment. However, it is not required. Writing the code is optional. You can also download the code from the given link. Let me show you the link. So this is the link by which you can actually download the code and can work on your logarithm. Now let's move forward in creating the logarithm by using the code. So let me align the windows first, and I have already created the logarithm file .fprg. You can see it here on the right side, and and on the left hand side you can see the Python code. So here in the line number 3, the program starts with a main. So main is the starting point of a program, and we perform, we write the necessary code, required logic, we perform all the calculations, operations inside it, and we'll get some desired output. So that is the main function. And under on the right hand side you can see the logarithm. So logarithm is a tool for designing algorithms visually using flowcharts. So it helps users represent the steps of an algorithm or program using different types of boxes that represent different actions or decisions. So some of the main types of boxes we use in the logarithm are like a logarithm program starts with main and it ends with here end. These are the two oval shaped boxes. Like this main start marks the beginning and like the end, it says like end of the algorithm or program. And then we have like rectangular boxes. You can see here it is like processing. It is for processing. It represents a process or action, like assigning a value to a variable or performing a calculation. Similar way we have parallelogram box. You can also like check by right clicking on this downward arrow. You can see the multiple boxes here, different kinds of boxes. So here you see parallelogram blocks. So these are like only we have two parallelogram blocks here, like input and output. So these are used for input or output operations like reading user input or displaying the results. And we also have these diamond boxes. Like these diamond boxes are also known as like decision boxes. It represents a decision or conditional statement, uh, like if else statements. So it checks a condition and branches to different actions based on the result. Uh, yeah, this is a declaration variable box, and this is a assignment. As I already told you, this is a rectangle box which is used for processing, like assigning a value to a variable or performing a calculation. Yeah. Now let's move on to the program. So as per the instructions, uh, in the line number 4, you can see prompt the user for the temperature in Celsius. So in the line number 5, we are writing Celsius equals to float and input of this, please enter the degrees Celsius. So here input is an inbuilt function which takes a string as input, and then inside that function is do some processing, and then it returns and it displays this, please enter the degrees Celsius on the console. And here this is float is also a inbuilt function, and it takes some value as input, which is here in our case the user input, and then I mean it returns an output value which converts that value input value into the decimal points. So entirely here, this if we are writing here the please enter the degrees in Celsius, and it will be printed on the console. Once user has entered some value, that will be converted to float variable, and then this here the interpreter defaultly, I mean automatically it as assumes that, so this is a variable Celsius of type float, as we are giving a float here, float variable. No need to explicitly mention float Celsius. This is the main advantage in Python over Java. So it dynamically it assumes the type of the variable. So here it is float. So this Celsius variable will have a float variable. It contains a float variable, float value. Sorry. So here on the right hand side, you can see this is the decision box. So here, if you double click on it, you'll get to see all the variables we used. So we have used Celsius, Fahrenheit, Kelvin, and degrees. So these are all real type. We are taking them as a real type. So we have to check mark this real and then click OK. And then we are initializing the constants here. So let's come back to the Python code. Here in the line number 7, you can see the calculate Fahrenheit. In the line number 8, there is a formula that has been given in the instruction file, which is nothing but Fahrenheit is equals to Celsius multiplied by 9, 9 by 5 plus 32. So here this 9 by 5 and 32 are the constant variables. We have to basically initialize the constants here. On the right hand side, you can see we are taking a assignment box, rectangle box. So instead of hard coding the values, I am using a constant variable here. So for 32, so on the left hand side, I am giving the variable as degrees, variable name, and on the right hand side we have the expression which is the constant value 32. Instead of 32, in the inside the program we can use this variable name degrees. So it automatically the interpreter assumes this degrees as 32. And one more thing to keep in mind, for a constant variable we have to give this word as in capital letters. This represents a constant variable. Let's click OK. Now we have to ask for a Celsius temperature input here. Like in the line number 5, we have already asked the user in the Python code, please enter the degrees in Celsius. Similar way, in the Flogorithm, you can see we have a parallelogram box which represents an output statement. It evaluates an expression and then displays the result onto the screen. So here we are entering the expression as please enter the Celsius temperature or degrees Celsius, whatever it is. So just click OK, and we have to put it inside the double quotes. Now this is also a input box which is a parallelogram box. Once the user has entered the degrees in Celsius, we have to store that value in some variable. So this is how we are giving the variable name as Celsius. Click OK. On the left hand side in the Python code, you can see like line number 5, we have this Celsius variable. So the whatever the user has entered the variable value, that will be stored in the Celsius. Similar way, in the line number 8, it takes the user input we have given, that will be stored in the Celsius, and this calculation will be performed by the interpreter, and the entire value is stored in the Fahrenheit variable here. So that is what we are going to do in the Flogorithm in the next step. So we are taking a assignment variable here again, assignment box, and on the left hand side we are giving the variable name as Fahrenheit, which we have already declared in the start of the program. And in the expression, under the expression, we are writing 9 by 5 into the Celsius variable which has the user input plus the degrees, which is a constant variable, it has 32. Then click OK. And similar way, on the left hand side in the line number 10, we have to calculate the Kelvin now. So here, what is the formula given in the instruction file for Kelvin, which is nothing but Celsius plus 273.15. On the right hand side, again we are taking a rectangle box, and then on the left hand side we are giving the variable name as Kelvin, and in the expression on the right hand side we are doing some calculation here like the Celsius plus 273.15, and that result will be stored in the Kelvin variable. Let's click OK. Now here in the line number 13, we are displaying the results, and in the instruction file it is clearly mentioned we should round it to one decimal place. So in the line number 14, you can see we are using a print function. This is also inbuilt function. So here we are using this flower braces to fetch the values dynamically, and this Celsius is nothing but the variable which stores the input provided by the user. From the line number 5, we got this, and we perform some operations on it. So this Celsius has some value, dynamic value, and here we are giving dot 1f, which represents like the one will get the value of up to one decimal place, and we are giving these flower braces so that a dynamic value will be fetched here. and here degrees Celsius converts to, this is a string variable. So again we are fetching a dynamic variable here for Fahrenheit, and we are rounding off it to zero point 0.1 f, like we'll only get one decimal point. And if you scroll to the right, you can see like degrees Fahrenheit, and this entire string will be enclosed in double quotes. The same way we are printing the value, displaying the results for Kelvin. So here the same way we start it with the double quotes, and then we fetch the dynamic value of the Celsius, and we display string of degrees Celsius converts to, and then we fetch the value from the line number 11, whatever value we got, and we store it in the Kelvin variable, right? We'll fetch from the line number 11, and in line number 15 dynamically we display it here, and the string we used is like degrees Kelvin. And we have to call the main function here on the right hand side. In order to display the results, we are using output box, and we are using this two fixed function, so that it will, the decimal point will be up to one decimal point will get. And then here we have to use the ampersand in order to get the dynamic values in the logarithm. So here, in order to display a string, we have to enclose it in double quotes and then write the message here, like degrees Celsius converts to, and then we have to fetch the dynamic value of the Fahrenheit. So we are using ampersand at the both ends. So to fixed of Fahrenheit comma 1, it will round off the decimal point to 1, and then we are printing some message over here, degrees Fahrenheit, which is enclosed in two double quotes, and then we are fetching the dynamic value of the Kelvin. So you can see at the both ends we have the ampersands, and then again we are like displaying a message called degrees Kelvin. So this is how we are going to display the final result. Then click OK, and we have end here. Let me just run this Python program. So here it is asking me to enter the degrees Celsius. Let me give a value 10. So you can see the output I got 10.0 degrees Celsius converts to 50.0 degrees Fahrenheit. The same way 10.0 degrees Celsius converts to 283.1 degrees Kelvin. So here let's execute the logarithm also. You can see there is a green color arrow button here which says run. Just click on that, and it says like, please enter the Celsius temperature. Let's enter the same input 10. Now we can see we got 10.0 degrees Celsius converts to 50.0 degrees Fahrenheit and 283.2 degrees Kelvin. Now you have to take screenshots of these outputs. Let me align the windows. Firstly, you save this logarithm chart, click on file and save it in the like the desired folder. So use the same naming convention as I used here, logarithm underscore 2.1 underscore j underscore, no need to write this 02, j underscore temperature conversion underscore solution dot fprg file. I'm not going to save it because I already have it saved. So I'm just clicking cancel here. And in order to take screenshots, you have to align this way, the output on the left side and the logarithm chart on the right side. Just click, take a screenshot of this. Now go to paint, open paint, and just paste that, and click on this A here, the top left. After clicking that, just drag it over here, and you have to write, give the student name. Let me give professor's name here, and then student ID, like 3 4 6 5 6 7 8 9, whatever it is. Then give the date here. Okay, today is 11th August. Just give it a different color. I'm giving as blue, and just save this file with the naming convention logarithm underscore 2.1 underscore j. You need to give this 02. Then after j, give underscore and temperature conversion underscore. Here you have to write underscore screenshot underscore 01. This is the first screenshot. So I'm saving this, and here you can see only this much of flowchart is covered here. Until this output, please enter the Celsius temperature. So we have to take one more screenshot. So the entire screenshot, like, it should cover the main to end. So only here main is covered. Then go back to, don't save. Now scroll down. So here now the end is visible here. So until this, we have already taken output box, green color box. Then we have to capture from the input Celsius to end. So we have to take one more screenshot here, and in the same way open paint, paste it over here. Again click on this A, drag here, again display the student name, like your name, and then student ID, then today's date, which is 11th August, and color it with blue or whatever the color you like. Then again save this file as logarithm underscore 2.1 underscore j underscore temperature underscore conversion underscore screenshot underscore 02. Then click on save. So all these three files, the project file which is .fprg file, and the screenshot files, so you have to upload it in on the assignment, like the Brightspace. Yeah, that's it, student. Thank you.